Hey, I'm Ella Zimmerman from Gaming Trend, and we're going to be taking a look at Bigfoot Roll Smash from XYZ Game Labs, and Brendan here is going to show us how it works.
Hello, I'm Brendan Riley, one of the co-designers of Bigfoot Roll Smash. This is a programming game in which you are driving a monster truck through an arena filled with obstacles in order to score points by wowing the audience. So let's get started. The best part about the game, perhaps the flashiest part, are our dice. These are the monster truck dice. They've got a kind of rubbery texture. You can see they squish a little bit.
This is so cool.
And you roll them by rolling. So these have 8 sides. Each side is a little bit different, but they give you planning points, cards, and hazards. The planning points allow you to plan how you're going to run through the arena. As I mentioned, this is a programming game, so you're going to use, I'm going to set this up on your board, Ella, just so we can see how this works. But we have a variety of different planning tiles that allow you to decide how your truck is going to move through the arena.
Okay.
And you're going to buy those tiles with the points that you've earned from your rolls. You get to roll 3 times in a sort of classic style where you roll, keep or re-roll some or all of your dice, and then do that one more time. So you get 3 rolls to get your best try. For every, you add up the numbers, and that gives you the points that you're spending on these tiles.
Okay.
If you get any of these green icons, these are cards that you're going to draw. Each truck has its own specialized deck, so I'm using Fast Tracks, the 1980s minivan mounted on a tank. It looks like you're sitting at Bigfoot Racer, which is the modern Marvel Bigfoot right now. So if you rolled any of these green icons, you would draw cards, which will give you movement opportunity or scoring opportunity.
Okay.
And then you might sometimes roll some of these dreaded orange hazard icons. If you roll those, you're going to draw hazard tiles that you have to give to me, and then I rearrange the arena to make it harder for you.
Awesome. Okay.
So after you've made your plan, let's say I'm just going to throw some of these in here. I don't know if this is a good plan, but we're just going to run it. All right, let's say you're going to turn around and do a 360. Once you get your plan sort of slotted into your tile,
Sweet.
Then you're going to decide where you want your truck to start. Maybe you're going to buy a ramp and put that onto the board.
Okay.
And then you're just going to go tile by tile. I can't resist making it a good plan. So we're going to do it like this. Okay. So then you're going to go tile by tile and execute the things that you've put out here. So for here we have forward 1, 2. So we'd move your truck forward 2 spaces.
Gotcha.
We just went by this sandworm in the sand there, so we scored points for going by it.
Okay.
Then you're going to turn 90. You turn and move forward 1. Now we're on the ramp. We're just about to launch into the air, as Bigfoot Racer loves to do. Then we're going to move forward 1 to 4. Now we're in the air. We jumped over the bulldozer, so we'll score that. 2, 3, 4. We're over the helicopter.
Okay.
And oh no, I've run out of forward movement. So now I've landed on the helicopter. That was a blunder, so I get a negative tile on that.
Gotcha.
So a big part of programming games, if you ever played Robo Rally or any games like that, is you think you know where you're going, but maybe you don't. So maybe you make a mistake and crash into a helicopter. It doesn't really hurt you, but it hurts your score. Then you're going to execute the rest of the tiles, maybe doing a 180-degree turn and scoring points for crushing some cars. And then you do a donut. Donuts are awesome. Everybody loves a donut at a monster truck rally. You get 3 points for that. And then let's say you zoom up and stop by the wavy arm men and the fireworks go off. So that would be an example of a run that I planned in 5 seconds without really looking at the board. But
yeah,
the idea is as you're going through, you're scoring each of these tiles in a different way. And when you get done, you're going to record your score on the scoreboard that comes with the game. And then the next person takes their run. After everybody takes a turn, then we're going to add more tiles to the board and do a second run, and that's the game.
Okay, and then of course throughout that, we're going to be putting hazards throughout the board.
That's right. With each player's turn, they're going to do a new roll of dice. So if they get hazards, the tiles might change. Sometimes there's like an oil slick that could come in that interferes with where you could drive. There's a replacement tile, so maybe I was really looking forward to scoring that sandworm, but you take it out and put in, I don't know, a boring pile of tires or an X-Wing sinking in the mud, perhaps.
Okay.
So different tiles score different amounts of points, so there's a lot of strategy. Also, if I were to draw the right cards, maybe I'm going to get more points for jumping over, or more points for jumping over something, and you would get more points for crushing something. So there's a lot of variety that comes in as you play time and time again. In some ways, it's an efficiency puzzle, sort of figuring out who can make the best path through this with the resources they've got. In some ways, it's a collaborative puzzle. I see you go, so then I learn from your path. Maybe I do a little better.
Ah, okay.
But ultimately, it's about just having fun. building these monster truck stories as you run through. Usually we encourage in a 3 or 4 player game that the third or fourth player, so the first player is running the arena, the second player is putting on these success and fail tokens, the third player, they're doing a Sunday style narration. Because that's part of the fun of the monster truck is celebrating what's happening.
And then the fourth player is sound effects.
The fourth player can do sound effects, yes, for sure.
That's awesome. This immediately takes me back to when I was a kid and I went to a monster truck rally with my dad.
Yeah, for sure.
It just blew my mind, and it's just as silly and goofy and awesome at the same time.
Oh, thank you.
One question about the order of operations with specifically with placing hazards. Would a player be able to formulate the perfect plan and then someone else say nope and put a hazard and kind of ruin it for them?
We have experimented with that. We found that ended up mostly being feel bad. Because the challenge of this game is planning your route. Being able to ruin the route after you've planned, it isn't really fun. So what we do is the first thing you do is draw the hazard tiles, give them to your opponents, they change the board, then you make your plan. So I can mess up what you thought you were going to do, but I can't actually ruin your plan.
I like that a lot better, yeah.
It's friendly.
It's friendly, it's fun, it's not,
Yeah. A big part of this game, we often, when we were trying to decide which rule was better, we erred on the side of fun rather than vicious competitiveness.
Yeah.
We also have, because this game, I hate to sound braggy, it's got great table presence, right? It's got these dice.
Oh, of
It's got these fun little minis.
These are awesome.
And so what we found in playtesting, a lot of times you could have a family with, say, a 10-year-old or an 8-year-old, and they're having fun playing, and the 6-year-old wants to come up and play. Well, we introduced a set of rookie rules that reduce the complexity dramatically so that you could have the 6-year-old at the table play with you. They roll the dice, and instead of buying programming tiles with the 4, they get to move 4 squares. And instead of getting cards with the card thing, they get to put on a ramp with the card. So they get to drive the truck through, they get to score the different things by interacting with them correctly, and then we actually have an algorithm in there to give you points, so you put their score on the scoreboard, and they get similar points to what everybody else has been getting. So they feel like part of the game without necessarily having to be able to handle the more complex programming elements.
That is awesome. So just to make sure I'm understanding you, everyone else at the table can be using the regular rules, and then that 6-year-old can be using those simplified rules simultaneously.
Rules, yep.
That is awesome. I love the idea that you don't have to awkwardly say, no, sorry, this is for the adults, and you can just include the kid and they don't cry and you don't have a horrible time.
That's the goal.
Yeah, that's so cool. You want to tell me a little bit about this massive monster truck behind you?
Sure. Well, this is the original Bigfoot. Bob Chandler took a factory normal truck and started building it bigger and bigger and bigger. I think 1975, although my colleagues will probably be mad if I got that wrong by a year or two. But so Bob Chandler continued building it up. Some of his friends started saying, you should start showing other people this. It's really awesome. Started driving through mud, started driving on to cars, and pretty soon there was this thing called monster trucks that he had invented.
Wait, are you serious? So this is like the original monster truck?
This is the original monster truck,
no
the very
way.
first one. The Smithsonian has asked for it, and they said, no, we'll keep it, thank you. And it came to Gen Con, it drove in under its own power.
That's so cool.
Some of the product that we're demoing with here, and like these Hot Wheel monster trucks that people can get for pre-ordering here at Gen Con.
Nice.
They rode in the bed of the truck.
That's so cool.
It's really exciting to have this here. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. we're going to have Bob Chandler here signing things.
Awesome.
So people can meet the inventor of monster trucks, as well as Marilyn Chandler, who helped with promoting Bigfoot, and then they created a monster truck for her to drive called Ms. Bigfoot that she drove for several years. So as far as we know, she's the first woman who drove a monster truck as well.
Okay. And of course, Bigfoot is modeled in this game. The other monster trucks in this game, are they modeled after other?
They are also modeled after real monster trucks as well. So the Bigfoot has been around since the mid-1970s, and as part of their brand, they've built lots and lots of monster trucks. And so we have picked out 4 of our favorites to put into the game. So we have the original Bigfoot. We have Bigfoot Racer, which is the one in front of you here.
Okay.
Bigfoot Racer is the one, if you go to a monster truck show now and they say Bigfoot is here, this is the truck that you're going to see. It's very fast, it jumps really far. We have a card in the deck commemorating the time when Bigfoot Racer jumped over a jumbo jet, for instance.
Oh, okay.
And then we also have Snake Bite. Where's my Snake Bite. Snake Bite is kind of a villain truck. If you think about like WWE, how they have wrestlers with characters.
Yeah.
Snake Bite is a villain,
Nice.
right? And so we commemorate that with the Snake Bite truck. I'd like to point out my favorite detail on the back. There's a little detail about the history of the truck. The fuel for Snake Bite is fear. And then we have a card in the Snake Bite to recognize Snake Bite's personality. We have a card in the Snake Bite deck called Destroy that lets you drive on any obstacle and wreck it even if you're normally not allowed to.
Nice.
And then finally, my personal favorite, we have Fast Tracks, which is a military tank that was capped with a Ford Aerostar and made into a monster truck. This is not running anymore, but it was a prominent part of the monster truck circuit for a while. In fact, there were other tanked trucks that it competed with in competitions. And so we have Fast Tracks as one of the trucks you can play.
That's so cool.
We couldn't stop there though. So we have these 4 and it makes for a great game, but there was too much monster truck and we didn't have room. So we added 2 more monster trucks and a few more tiles and an expansion that gives you additional sort of personal actions. And we added them to this additional card. So we have Bigfoot 5, the largest, heaviest monster truck, and Ms. Bigfoot, which I mentioned before. These come in the expansion, which is also part of our pre-order.
Nice.
And if people are interested, they can look on our website or come to the Gen Con booth to check it out.
Okay, and so this is currently available for like pre-order right
Pre-order. The pre-orders are going to deliver in November, and the game should come to retail in the spring. The pre-order price is $30 for the base game, and the retail will be $40 at the store.
Honestly, I thought the asking price was going to be more than that. 30 and 40 is that's pretty cheap.
We are aggressively pricing this because our philosophy at XYZ Game Labs is that we invent new gamers. And one of the realities is if you're not in the hobby gaming sphere, you aren't going to pay $80, $100 for a board game.
Absolutely.
So we did a lot of working on which components we're getting, a lot of thinking about how to make the price cost effective so that we could put this in the market where a relative who doesn't know board games but has kids who like monster trucks could see this game and say, hey, this is a good gift.
That's awesome. I love that philosophy. You know, as a lover of board games, I like to think of myself as like I got to be an ambassador for the hobby. And the entry point for board games is hard. It's expensive. So I love what you're doing here. Honestly, I think this is a really great game. And
thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity for us to learn about it.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. It's been super fun.
Yeah, same here.